Generals and senior officers record every word when the leader speaks during an inspection, because in the state system the leader's words carry the force of administrative decisions and are immediately transformed into tasks. The ritual of recording has a performative and propagandistic dimension. The spectacle of faithful transcription is presented in the media to reinforce the image of the leader's infallibility and omniscience applied to the people. This practice stems from the tradition of on-the-spot guidance, in which the leader's visits and direct instructions became a tool of political direction and a symbolic way of assigning development priorities. The notes later serve as formal bases for preparing orders, memoranda, and corrective plans, which is why commanders treat them as binding documents in work and in the accountability system. In the military structure, recording a superior's statements functions as a guarantee of transferring political intent to the executive field, which limits room for interpretation and free adaptation. The obligation to record words precisely also derives from a mechanism of accountability, since a mistaken interpretation can cost promotions and privileges or become a pretext for dismissal and a security investigation. Notation serves a control function, because after inspections comparisons of records and inquiries are conducted that quickly clarify execution discrepancies and identify people to punish or promote. Handwritten protocols are archived in official files and later serve as material for personnel evaluations and for compiling lists of those who comply with recommendations and those who do not. Precise transcription of statements also serves to create plaques and commemorative boards at visit sites, where the leader's quotes are fixed as developmental instructions and symbolic mandates for local communities. The sight of generals eagerly taking notes is also a signal to the crowd. It shows that decisions are sacred, and that carrying out directives will become the duty of the entire party and military community. The uniform appearance of notebooks and template formulas facilitate document verification and speed up reporting procedures, allowing central organs to react quickly and enforce directives. The form and ritual of recording are often uniform: identical notebooks, repetitive formulas, and compulsory reports, which makes deviations easier to identify and accelerates disciplinary processes against disobedient elements. Political officers play a key role in organizing protocols, because they supervise the conformity of records with the party line and monitor that the leader's message does not become distorted. Recorded words make it easier for propaganda to extract catchy quotes and craft media narratives that will then be repeated in pamphlets, posters, and educational programs for the masses. The recording mechanism protects the leader from contradictory versions. The official record becomes institutional truth, making later challenges to orders more difficult and shielding the decider's authority. Digital and paper records also enable central control of logistics, because from the record's materials, budgets, and deadlines can be calculated, which become binding tasks for factories and brigades in the field. Generals record not only content but also nuances of context and intent, which helps to interpret the political rationale behind decisions and use them in operational and logistical plans. The record helps propaganda and information officers set uniform messages for the media, so speech quotes become repeatable, easy to print, and usable in educational materials. The practice of recording reinforces collective accountability, because if a recommendation is not implemented, all those present at the recording are automatically subject to review and corrective measures. Notes also serve as legal defense for commanders and officials, who can use the documents to demonstrate that they executed orders, which sometimes protects them from personal sanctions and demotion. The rigor of recording and the public presentation of protocols are elements of elite training, teaching that loyalty, absolute subordination, and meticulous execution of orders are paramount in the state. The record is also used to test the authenticity of orders. Central units compare the leader's words with later instructions, allowing them to detect any attempts at manipulation at lower levels. In military or economic crises, the record is the basis for the rapid delegation of responsibility and for setting corrective timetables that must be carried out within specified timeframes. This ceremonial also strengthens the leader's position in the eyes of the military, because generals, by carefully taking notes, demonstrate his strategic expertise and ability to lead the state in difficult conditions. Recording also has a ritual dimension in the context of the cult of ancestors and tradition, where the ruler's words are treated almost like sacred texts requiring faithful copying and preservation. This practice safeguards against the loss of information due to human memory, because in a hierarchical system, a single missed order can trigger an avalanche of logistical and political errors. Recorded communications are sometimes used by the political office to develop loyalty tests and personnel monitoring, where analysis of the records reveals the degree of officers' enthusiasm and obedience. Finally, the record is an element of control during diplomatic meetings and inspections, because it allows later reconstruction of decision paths, agreements, and accounting before central institutions. In this ritual, there are sacral elements. The leader's words are treated like texts with normative force, stored with due reverence and later read as signposts for generations of state cadres.